Is it miscongeniality or is it fan favorite?
Fan favorite.
Gay Weekly Roundtable starts now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Happy Drag Race Finale Eve, everyone, and welcome to a very special Drag Race themed episode of Gay Weekly Roundtable. We're bringing it to the runway with two very special guests. But first, me. I'm Adam Salandra, and you can find me on Instagram and all social at Adam Salandra.
Hi, it's me, Tony, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. Ding.
I'm Michael Henry, and you can find me online on Instagram at michaelhenry915.
Or at any street corner in Los Angeles.
And I will scream out my birthday, which is September 15th.
Yes! Come on, Amazon wishlist.
Hey guys, it's Jay Ellis, and I'm on Instagram at don_b_jealous and Twitter at still_jealous.
Now guys, we're going to start rotating panel people in and out, give you fresh blood, but today we have a Drag Race superfan in Michael Henry, and Jay Ellis is the Drag Race AfterBuzz recap superstar here with us.
Ooh, who said that?
And hey, who said that?
Who said that?
That's what everyone else on your panel is asking right now.
Yeah, who said that?
Which reminds me, let's take it back, which is really the future, but you were at the finale red carpet.
I was. I saw Tony there. Yeah,
yes,
we were both there, but I went with my co-host Mark J. Freeman.
Yes.
And we were very lucky. We got a great spot on the carpet, and we were able to talk to a lot of the queens, Ross, one of the judges, and just some of the guests that were coming onto the red carpet.
Did they spill any tea?
You know, it was a pretty safe carpet. Everybody was giving kind of their stock answers. I feel like they were really trained.
It was a safe season until this reunion.
Yeah, the reunion was, I mean, had I seen the reunion before this, I feel like all my questions would have been so different.
Of course, but they planned it well.
They did. They planned it real well.
But I have a question about that. Sure. As we know, and we've discussed, this was the season of love. No fights, everyone best friendly, which that's no reality show.
No fights until
this reunion. So what do you think happened? Was it that they were like, oh, we need to bump up the drama, or they were like, we've seen what y'all have been saying about us all season, and now we're gonna retaliate?
I honestly think that's what it was. I think that when you're keep in mind, this was shot like a year ago.
Not the reunion, the season.
The season was shot a year ago.
Right.
So, you know, when you're there, the situation is all brand new and everyone's like, oh my gosh, and everything like that. Then the show gets edited and aired.
Right.
And then people, I feel like, start to not be so humble about their platform.
Sure.
And things have to get called out. So I think from a year ago, now it's like all of a sudden, you know, people are like, oh, no.
Of course, which is, well, I thank God for this old format, which is also the Housewives format, which is, let's keep it up, which I think they will after the success of this. But I thought it was weird that, oh, first of all, before I forget, Shay, I saw a message somewhere on social media saying, like, guys, we just wanted to pump up the drama for you. We're all still friends, laughing afterwards. I get that maybe she'll just say that because some people were criticizing her, but, like, is it risky? Or I was thinking of you without headphones. I don't know why that would be risky anyway. But
me risky without headphones.
One thing I cannot do is focus on more than one thing at once. I can barely focus on one thing. Anyway, and what were we talking about? Oh, Shay was saying that it was just, you know, we're all friends, which I'm sure they all are all friends, but is that why they turned up the drama? I thought the most interesting thing was Shay and Sasha really turned up the drama.
I thought Trinity really had a lot to interject.
Yeah. She did, but I from the beginning, even though she like ended up being someone everyone loves, she always was sort of like she would say things.
I think that from the start, Trinity knew what people want to watch.
Yes.
Her in Untucked always gave me something that, even if it was just a meme.
Even if she wasn't the one fighting and just the sipping the drink, she understood how to do it.
I think she got it.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones didn't.
Go ahead, Tony.
But do you all think that they're putting on? Like, I feel like they're just really being themselves. I don't think they're necessarily stirring the pot.
I think they were putting it on for the reunion.
But not
for the reunion?
Not fake per se. Did it seem fake to you?
No, but I think that they know how to be bitches. We all know how to be bitches.
Correct.
You know,
they gave us what we wanted, whether they meant to or not. But that's what I want to know. Like, did you mean to? Because a lot of people online, which is an insane Drag Race world, obviously, are like mad at Shay or like didn't like how she was acting there. But I think that's weird.
I think you always have a moment of where you have had enough of a persona and you feel the need to be like, okay, no, bitch, that's not how you are. Let's get to the real tea. It's kind of like when Adore called Laganja out during their season and was just like, girl, like, who is this girl? Like, you don't act like this. Like, what is happening? So I think, you know, again, from the year that a year ago when they filmed it up until now, so many things have transpired that they're just like, oh, no.
And plus, I don't know if, I always wonder if they can tell when they're filming who's going to be like the popular one.
They definitely at least try and figure it out, I'm sure. Whether
I don't
they're
know.
wrong or not.
I don't know if they realized that Valentina was going to be such a standout when they were filming it. And then
always wondered that.
And then once it came to fruition, like during the reunion, by that point you know who has the most Instagram followers now.
Yeah.
She is by far has the most.
Right.
So I think that caused a lot of heat.
I kind of have like two thoughts on this because I think that watching the show is completely different than experiencing it because you're seeing kind of the talking head portions where people maybe are saying something and editors may take it out of context or something. So they may put something there and then it kind of hurts your feelings after the fact. But at the reunion too, I mean, they've kind of all been attacked on social media because, like Nina said, she was attacked on social for kicking out Valentina when she was just doing her job. I think that the fans have kind of bullied the queens during this run, so I think at the reunion they had a lot more feelings going into it, like you need to control this, you did this, you should have done this, like this is the way to handle it. So I think that their emotions were coming from real places.
I think I guess Shay didn't surprise me a ton, and Sasha really, even though I don't think she said anything bad or wrong, she spoke up more than she ever had. But was the reunion was filmed before the finale was taped, right?
They did the finale, and then I believe the reunion was the following day on Saturday. I'm pretty sure that was the order.
How could they edit that? Because it didn't air that day?
It aired the next week.
Oh.
That's interesting because
I'm not 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
From
a reliable
things
source.
I've been trying to avoid but haven't. I won't spoil anything, but I just know that people that went to the finale know of certain people who aren't necessarily in the running, like who's fourth and third.
Oh, I know. I did all that research.
Well, I tried not to.
But we talked about it last week, how people went to the finale and basically put everything out there on what happened, and it. Whether you're trying to get likes or get people to follow you or be a drag race, like, you know, go-to person for the tea, it really ruins the show. And like I said last week, I hope it doesn't get to a point where the production company is just like, we're not doing this live anymore, we're going to go back to how we did in the first 3 seasons and we just do it ourselves.
Honestly. I don't like the whole live thing.
I didn't like it because it ruined the reunion, but if they keep doing the reunion like this, I won't. Then it's sort of like a big party live.
Well, I like this format because I like that they didn't try to jam everything in one last hour. I like that we got a full hour of just the whole cast talking and discussing everything, rather than how they've done it before, where the first part is like, you know, the queens, or they bring them in interchangeably with like the final 3, and then there's the announcement. I like that the reunion itself was separate, so it gave me all the tea that I need to go into the finale.
Definitely.
I like the reunion like this.
And this reunion felt more true because you know that they're not all hanging out. Like with the Housewives, you're like, reunion from what? You guys some are supposed to be hanging out outside of the show. But this felt more like, hey, we're pulling Nina from Atlanta. You know, that kind
and
of
it
stuff.
is what a reunion's supposed to be in my eyes, is exactly what went down. But the reason I was asking is the 2 queens who are not in the top the next day then would have had to film, and I just will go back and watch it again, which won't be the second, probably the 3rd time I would have watched it.
Are you going to watch that along with Moonlight?
Now, why does this have to come up every time? I thought we all forgot about Moonlight.
Not at all. In fact, someone last week in the chat wanted me to ask you, had you finally seen Moonlight?
I bet they did. They did. They always do. I lied once. Were you here the day I lied and everyone believed in me?
I was here the day that you lied, and you couldn't go through the lie. Listen, if you go lie...
That was a big mistake.
Listen, Linda, if you're going to lie, stick with the lie. You're an actor,
Linda.
like, stick with it.
That's hilarious.
Who said that? Who said that?
I said what I said.
Okay, guys, the first thing I want to discuss about this reunion, and we don't have to do the reunion the whole time. I don't want to step on y'all's toes, since I didn't realize you didn't do it yet. But there are things to say. Is why was everyone so mad at Charlie? Like, I get that Charlie was like, why did you do that? But they seemed like personally angry.
Okay, wait. What do you mean by who was mad at Charlie?
Shay and Sasha were the ones that most their comments they were saying about like, no, girl, you need to stick with one excuse. Just their tone seemed very pointed.
You can see okay, because this is why. Because I was kind of like, okay, Miss Charlie girl, like again, if you're gonna lie, stick with a lie.
Right.
Because at first during the show, she said, "In London we don't lip sync," so I was prepared that if I had to go and lip sync, that I would just not do it because that's not what we do in London. And then it turned into, well, my ribs hurt. And it's like, well, girl, was it your ribs? Because then you should have said it during that time. If it wasn't your ribs, and I mean, just own it. Like Lisa Rinna would say, own it. Just own it. Own it, Charlie Hides. Own it. Like if you weren't comfortable lip syncing, then
I get what they were saying and I agree with it, but I'm just saying the Queen seemed personally offended by it.
Well,
I don't really think that they cared. I think it goes back to them being like, we're gonna amp it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, then that does make sense.
Really
I think
I felt bad that Rue dumped on her too.
Yeah, she showed it.
Yeah. She's like, when one of my babies doesn't live up to full potential and just gives up, I'm like annoyed, and Charlie's like, I'm sorry.
She did talk like an old 20s gal.
You guys are doing such great Charlie Hides impressions. Like I'm living for it right now. They did seem very ready to. I think that they realized that these lip syncs this season were not what anybody was expecting, and to be real,
you mean they were a mess?
80% of them that Aja wasn't involved in, or Nina. Like I was so not invested. Like I'm sorry, but Farrah versus Alexis, I was so like disappointed. I
don't even remember it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just like that kind of stuff where I wish Charlie, and I mean Sasha said like or even Shay, you came down the runway, you were able to walk, and that's all we wanted. We want like a little sidestep instead of like you look like you're hunching. She said that she looked like she was trying to have an orgasm or something, and it just, that didn't read for me either. Like I don't know.
No, why were we just hearing about that one now?
Exactly.
Like, what's going on?
Too many excuses.
I think the girls just wanted her to say what actually was the issue with her lip sync. Was it that she wasn't used to lip syncing, or was it the rib? Like, pick one, stick with it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I kind of feel like, I mean, I'm not there, but I feel like Charlie realized the backlash of that excuse, and so then kind of came up with another one of like,
and
oh girl,
like,
I was injured. But let me tell you something. Someone could have an oxygen mask to me. If I'm on that stage, I'm going to lip sync for my life. You may have to will me off afterwards.
Violet did have an oxygen mask once, even though it's fake.
Did.
But also Charlie was like, I was exhausted. We have been filming for whatever. I'm like, weren't you like there for 3 weeks?
But it's like excuse after excuse.
She wasn't even there for that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So sorry, Charlie. But an unintentional.
I do like her looks, though. I do like her.
I thought she would have gone. Did anyone see? Or the panel Mark did, I think.
I was there live.
Yeah, she showed her what she was going to do for Snatch Game.
Guys, she was going to do Joan Rivers, and let me tell you, it was spot on, and she went right into it and had a very quick wit. I mean, I'm all of them that were eliminated, actually the top 5, my co-host Mark interviewed them, they all had fantastic impressions.
They were all good.
It was so good.
There's also a video on Wow Presents where they talk about their other choices for Snatch Game.
Right.
Yeah.
And Eureka said she's going to do something different.
So
she's not going to planned, which was Honey Boo Boo.
She was going to do Honey Boo Boo, which would have been fantastic.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Eureka was going to even do season 10.
Like on her, like she wouldn't want to.
Right.
Oh.
Why
you
want
to do it as many as you can. Plus, she didn't get the
big personality, and I wonder if people globbed onto her and liked her a lot.
I did, but a lot of people didn't. I think she's going to go on and try to already redeem herself slightly.
I wouldn't care. Rue has already locked me in for season 10.
Oh, spoiler!
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, it does nothing but great to now she knows how the show works, like the inner workings of the show.
Cynthia.
And so did Shangela.
But Cynthia, I do know this, that Cynthia was held by production saying, we want you to be involved in season 9 in some capacity, but it really came out that she didn't know she was doing the show until the rest of the contestants.
Really?
Yeah.
So they said, we want you to come back, we just don't know in what capacity, when the whole time production knew that they were going to bring her as a contestant.
Right. Or meanwhile, Eureka has a year
to try to make it fair. Now, that's what we're saying on our panel is Eureka better be in like improv classes, better be sewing.
Anybody who sent in a video to be on RuPaul's Drag Race insert season here needs to take an improv class, a sewing class, a pattern class, a makeup class.
Yes,
go
please.
talk to your local therapist. Whatever you need to do to prepare for this. Get your looks together. Whatever, if you got to have a side job.
Bad Girls Club, because I want you to bring that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now listen, every queen about to go in that workroom saw the reaction to the reunion, I hope. And now you know what we want, and it's that. You don't need to be. I know that it's a very fine line because they don't want to be the villain then, and then have no fans. But you got to give us something.
I want more Morgan McMichaels versus Tyra. R.I.P. business.
That was amazing.
Bring it. They haven't been on TV in years.
It was a mess.
And they brought it.
That was all a mess.
Guys, I guess we should tell you quickly if you don't know what happened. If you didn't follow, I don't even know the full story, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh well.
Allow me.
Let me fill you in.
Were you at the funeral?
I was there. Okay, so this is why it happened. So, Tyra was booked to work at Mickey's a few months ago. Before that, a couple of days before, Tyra released this sort of spoken word music, whatever, in response to how Drag Race fans have been treating her. In this little mixtape sort of a thing, which she said was more of an ode to what they did in Dear White People, which I haven't seen Dear White People, so I'm sure it was a parody of some sort. But she mentioned how Raven had lost twice. Oh wait, we'll count it a third time, including Naomi.
Right. Which,
side note, apparently Raven and Jujubee helped Naomi, gather her things for Drag Race for her season. Anyhow, this is all alleged. So anyhow.
Thank you, Wendy.
So, Morgan caught wind of what Tyra said in this thing about Raven. She then contacted the manager at Mickey's and said that I'm going to remove myself from the show because I feel like there's going to be a scuffle between Tyra and Raven. Cut to the manager of Mickey's decides to call Tyra and say you are canceled.
Because it was Morgan's birthday.
It was Morgan's birthday. So the manager of Mickey's canceled Tyra. Tyra, allegedly, I did not hear, recorded the conversation between her and the manager and posted it on SoundCloud, but by the time I went to go click on it, it had already been taken down, but someone told me that it was the conversation between them. So then...
Yeah, this is just, nothing even happened yet.
Just a conversation up on SoundCloud.
Well, that's where she put her music.
So, so with that, Tyra, then put up the RIP because basically saying that her friendship with Morgan was done, to which people thought Morgan McMichaels had actually died.
Because it was a meme of Morgan McMichaels that said RIP.
From like 1980.
To then cut to Morgan gets on Facebook Live to basically say, I'm not dead. I'm not sure why you did this, and explain her side. Tyra then a couple of hours later got on Facebook Live to go talk about her side. At the end of the day, they then a couple of weeks later saw each other outside of Mickey's and made up.
But wait, that's not even any of my favorite parts. Tatiana then said, girl, you gotta take that down. So then she...
Oh, no, Tatiana posted Tyra's phone number and
Tyra
told fans... Oh, Tyra did it first?
Yes.
Tyra posted Tatiana's number?
Tyra posted Tatiana being like, girl, you got to take that down. But it was with the phone number. So then Tatiana posted Tyra's phone number.
To which the next day they were both standing at their cell phone provider's lines to change their number.
But the best, the mic drop for me was when Naomi stepped up and was, because they mentioned Naomi and be like, she was the third one that didn't win. She was like, yeah, I didn't win, but I was too busy signing guest fans' autographs at DragCon to care. With a picture of Tyra at her booth, alone, no line.
It was
devastating, but I prefer Tatiana over Tyra, so I loved it. Yeah. But it was something.
It was all a mess. It was I like the fact that season 9 girls, with the exception of like what came out in the reunion, all pretty much band together. But like all this bickering and back and forth that happens in the drag community,
I love it more.
Exactly. Drag is drag and art. I'm the same with you.
It's TV.
But reality TV is reality TV. So I like.
And you know that business goes on behind the scenes when they're at gigs.
Aja said on someone on the red carpet. Maybe it was Roz Dressfulez that there were so many catty moments that they didn't show, which is strange. But also something I forgot is they filmed this season just a few weeks after Pulse. So I do bet that also made everyone be a little less, bitchy and a little more like,
united.
Let's be sisters.
And they're also very aware of how they're being presented on television.
Well, that's a big one. That's, I think, why we get less and less as each season goes on. because some people don't like
Unless
Bianca.
that was my example.
Yeah.
Unless you can ride that line so well,
Right.
like Bianca does, where you can be catty and then be flippant
because
to be so
drag
nice.
queens are supposed to be shady reading. That we enjoy. If you're just a bitch,
Unless
it's
you're
not the same.
Alexis. Don't read her.
Unless you get approval. Unless you give her approval.
About her body.
Yowza. Guys,
Subway fish crazy.
we are ignoring the elephant in the room, and that's Valentina, now known as Valentina. That was one of the most magical moments for me.
Which moment?
Well, you're right. But the whole miscongeniality.
I loved
scandal.
Valentina up until the reunion, and then I was against her.
You are against her now because
I'm not as big of a fan.
same. She was definitely in my top to win, and then I was I was like, girl, you gave us such a good moment with that mask. I'm not mad, but I saw you not learning those lines in Untucked.
I liked her looks and I liked her personality.
Same.
I did not like that she didn't do the song.
Yeah.
Greedy.
Well,
Decided to get that in.
they came for her. Okay, you know the words. That's good.
Oh, I
It's
do.
a 7-word chorus.
Yeah.
It's a 7-word chorus.
Now, to
Oh.
be fair, she wrote the lyrics down
And
so that
Alexis
she
saw
could
that.
know them. And Alexis can verify.
I loved. Who was it that
Alexis.
called Alexis and be like, "We know you're trying to get your fans."
Yeah, and it's like she is, but like Alexis, baby, it's over for you. Take those fans you have and run with them and enjoy them.
I know.
Because you're not gonna make any new.
Here-
You're anti-Alexis.
I don't think. Yes, I am. I don't think she presented herself. She presented her true self, I think.
Yeah.
And I feel for her. I know that she is that theater girl.
I wanted her to be Fifi O'Hara All-Stars 2
Thank you.
status. I
Same.
wanted her to be the villain.
I wanted her to
Own
go
it.
all the way. She didn't. She was just she made other people like she blamed them for her. I didn't like that, but it wasn't
And she was
villainy enough.
delusional.
Well,
She was like, this,
definitely.
I don't see high fashion when I see you two. This is ready to wear. Okay.
Guys, I know nothing about fashion, but from the words "ready to wear" sound like it's ready to wear, like you could get it anywhere. That's
Off
obviously
the
not the
rack.
case. Yeah.
Right.
So how
Yeah.
is that good?
I don't know. She was a mental.
Okay. Back to knowing that.
Yeah.
Can I take a step back with Valentina though?
Oh yeah,
like,
no, there's much more to
Okay,
say.
cool. So, like, it's hard to get a read or a temperature of, like, who is still backing her because I still hear, like, the rabid fans, and it's so hard to really justify any of the behaviors. And, I mean, if you look back at the early part of the season when they were doing group challenges, Valentina was chosen last on, like, the cheering
Yep.
one. And I'm wondering if we're seeing what the queens had already seen when Farrah's kind of crying and saying, like, you didn't answer my text, and Valentina refuses to turn and look at her.
Yep.
I'm wondering if that was played out throughout the entire season.
I think that it's just funny because Valentina seemed before this went down like a miscongenial. She was just always sweet and
Yeah.
whatever. But I think whether she's nasty or not in real life, she knows how to play that game. And she was
And you've
until
known
she
her since 2012.
Have you?
wait. Okay, we'll get into that because
I love
I
it.
brought some photos.
Oh, we
Evidence.
have free photos.
This
There-
is Housewives reunion
yes,
status.
Receipts.
because some stuff went down that y'all don't know about. You know, I don't think you know.
I
You
know. Oh, yeah.
Well, I pre-Drag Race, and I think right before Drag Race, when I used to host and produce the drag show at Mickey's, we used to do a contest called Project Drag. And Valentina actually was a huge fan of Project Drag. She used to come every week. And when she started doing drag, she actually applied for Project Drag. And I remember her, because I used to have each contestant submit a video of them performing, along with like some information about themselves and a photo in and out of drag. And I remember her video. I still remember it to this day. But I also remember not picking her because I remember it was between her and someone else. I don't remember who that other person was. But I didn't choose her because I remember she had just started drag, and I was like, I need to give her another year before
and what year
I
was
think
this?
she's ready for the competition. This was actually just last year.
Oh.
So cut to now, I actually was able to chit chat with her on another show to discuss this very same thing, and just seeing how she is now, I feel like I'm kind of with other people that I think the people around her have boosted her up, and I think that she hasn't remained humble and
No.
grounded.
Before all this drama came out and people turned on her, the queens online were all the LA girls, Delta Work. We talked about this on here.
Right?
Yeah, they were just annoyed with her, saying that she was like acting too big for britches, like acting just better than everyone. And I was like, this doesn't make sense because I love the girls saying it, but I like Valentina. Okay, but now here's my story. Okay, Valentina came to my birthday party in 2013. I didn't know her, but her friend. They were both drag queens, just dabbling, just new. There's a picture of it that's on my Instagram that we can pull up. So I, of course, shared it. My friend Michael Henry thinks I was trying to be shady because
when you posted it, I was like, "This, you know, she made it clear she started 10 months ago."
True, and I did say it was 2013, but the thing was, I thought that she said she was performing for 10 months only, and only dabbled. I mean, the point is she doesn't look good.
Well, they never do in the beginning.
Right, exactly. So that's why I didn't actually think I was being shady. I was like, of course, you literally just started.
2016.
Well, that's why I didn't realize it was shady. So she blocked me on Instagram.
Did she really?
She blocked me. This I just found out. I posted this photo a while ago, but now other little, you know how if you go on your Explore page, all the fans have like their own memes. Someone cropped me right out of the pic, and which is fine, did it like they were complimenting her, saying it was a glow up, which is what the kids say.
Anthony, will you please pull up this photo? Like, I'm sitting here waiting for the photo to get like put up.
You'll see
first,
it. Right?
This is the first one. That's us. And that, you know,
and
that's
Valentina's on the left or the right?
Yeah. Exactly. You can't even tell.
She was a curvy
that's her in the
queen
middle.
too.
That's the other thing. So now people are cropping me out to do stuff like this, which is fine, but putting their own name and watermark on the photo, and it's like,
okay.
Well, bitch.
You want the credit?
I don't. No, I'm not now, because now Valentina hates me. Also fine, because I like to be in a feud with the queen every now and then.
You just wrapped up with Jinx.
There's someone. Yeah, exactly. I was feuding with Jinx.
You were? What was that about?
Well, she didn't know, but okay, I'll tell you again.
Why are you feuding with?
I met her at. I'm not even a feuding person, but it's these queens. Now I see how it happens. Maybe I would be the villain on Drag Race
because you don't know what's happening.
Exactly. I'm like, I didn't know. No, Jinx. I met Jinx and told her that I write for New Now Next. My friend did. I wasn't like, oh. He was like, oh. And she looked at me and she was like, oh, so you work for me? And I was like, bitch, I have yet to write about you, actually, or have you pay my bills. Right. But we're good now. Jinx, love you. I'm on to season 9. And anyway, I didn't start it, but she blocked me. Now, I like to think she was just so mad
Valentina
that I posted it.
You.
Yeah. But, Jinx.
Right.
Forgot about that immediately after it happened. I think Valentina could have just blocked me to not. I don't remember if I tagged her. I definitely put her name in the thing. I don't think I tagged her because I was like, I don't want her to be embarrassed.
It was one of the only pictures out there of her not doing it recently.
Right.
So I think other people noticed.
But no one said anything about it on my thing. And then you said that your friend said something.
Yeah, my friend who does drag was like, do you know Adam? Like, he posted
like, very upset. It was these Valentina fans that were going to start coming for me.
Well, he wasn't necessarily, he just thought it was you trying to be shady.
Yeah, which is funny because I totally now get why it looks like that. But by the way, now I am being shady because now that she blocked me, I have it on Twitter. I told people on Facebook. Yeah. But now, this guy who I don't know on Facebook saw me telling the story. He was like, show the picture. So I showed it. He took it, also stamped his big old watermark on it, but is so violently against Valentina that I'm like very uncomfortable. I'm like, this is like a psycho and I don't want to be a part of it.
Well, here's the issue. I think that when Aja did her whole thing of like, oh my God, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you look like a Linda Evangelista. Are those tights stoned? Oh my God.
Smiling.
And I think during that time, those queens didn't understand how this queen that just started is suddenly getting all of this praise.
Oh, it was total jealousy
by the judges. And I think Valentina is. I've always described Valentina as the Latin version of Tammy Brown. Where like
not Selena?
She lived I am a huge fan of Selena Quintanilla and
not of Tammy Brown.
But I love me some Tammy Brown.
I do love Tammy Brown too.
But I feel like they both are. It's like they're in this world, and you either step into it or you don't.
I don't know. I don't know if I think that. I just think Valentina built herself up, did the show with a bunch of like self-produced confidence, and that I saw that on the show, and then other people started validating it, and then she kept rising up and up and up, and now she's in a beyond confidence, like cocky.
Right,
And
but
it's not
she got
reading
the
well.
crazy fans, because the crazy fans on every season, but they all went to her this year, and so that's when the other queens were like, well, it's time to call you out.
But they need to be, fans need to be fully aware that, because the uproar with her lip sync and her not knowing the words, those fans blamed everyone else except for Valentina.
Why they're crazy.
Right. And you have to hold people accountable for this. Is an amazing opportunity to have. And I feel like Valentina was just down because for the first time the judges were not like, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you look like Linda Evangelista. And she really then had to fight for her position, and she gave up. And even though she keeps saying, even though she kept saying, I'm in such a dark place, and there's a moment where you have to be like Cher and like snap out of it, of course, because you now have to lip sync for your life. And whether she wrote those words down a billion times or whatever, if you are a true performer, when that music kicks up, that persona overtakes you.
She could have kept the mask on and gave us something, and it would have been something.
I agree. And I have to say, on the carpet, I mean, when that's your defining moment on the show, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to want to ask about the mask and how it went down and what was going through your mind. And she turned to her assistant who was helping her on the carpet and said, I don't want to be here anymore, and left the carpet.
Oh my God.
And at that point, when you have a whole year to really think about a solid answer to come back with, you just big the charm and just have, 3 or 4 jokes to give different outlets.
Right, because it happened, and we're all going to talk about it.
You know that's what's going to be popping up.
But that is the problem, is that, and I even saw this happen very briefly, her little supporters will shuffle her through, whenever she wants to like get out of a situation. And there's been so many, they're just coming up out of the woodworks now, of situations of her being an ultimate diva. And I really hope, for her sake, that she realizes that being like this is going to end your drag career quicker than you started.
Listen, she has bookings now, but if these girls don't like you and the fans turn on you, you see very talented queens that just didn't get that fan base on the show and don't work like the other ones.
She'll get gimmick bookings right now, and I would love to watch her do a booking with Aja, whatever.
Which they did do in New York.
I bet. But in a year, if you still have a stank attitude,
it's already pouring out just because you have those fans that are sticking by you.
The second the season 10 queens are announced, season 9 and below are that much further back in your mind.
Well, Valentina, she's definitely going to be on the next All Stars. And
she said she doesn't want to do it.
Really?
That's the statement, but I feel
she's whack.
It's filming the summer. Like
she is surely lying, because there's no way you could have thought you were the winner and could have won and then not want a chance to redeem yourself. Like, fans didn't turn against you because you're bad or anything. She'll be there if they invite her.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, be humble.
And I don't want to like pile onto it, but I appreciated Aja for calling out, like, this isn't miscongeniality. It's not what we saw in the workroom.
Her reactions.
Yeah, the gasp, like when Farrah, you don't love me. Aja goes,
believe it. Yeah.
You don't love me.
A Jocelyn Fox gasp.
Wait, Farrah?
I love Jocelyn Fox.
Farrah woke me up that reunion.
Agreed.
First of all, I thought she looked amazing.
I loved her.
I loved her.
Yeah, she was great.
Everything she was saying, the whole thing, loved that Farrah. She looked gorgeous. But Aja was the one who came being like, why don't I give you what you want at this reunion? And she sure did. And I read her reading, or said something after. She was like, listen, honestly, like, we definitely didn't get along during the season, but we actually are friends now. But she's truly just kind of a shady little bitch. Like, I like that about her. But miscongeniality is about being nice. She's not nice, and I think that's okay. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit there and pretend it is. So it's interesting that she wasn't even trying to come for her. It was truly just like, it was just fan that favorite. Much not the case. Yeah. That's no one. And then everyone was like, yeah, fan favorite.
I think Rue was even stumped when Aja was like, more like fan favorite. Yes, give it up for fan favorite. And Rue was just like,
and she was like,
well, I guess we've changed it to miscongeniality. However, she still wins the $5,000.
Did you guys see that meme where it's like, in the reunion, Rue was like, well, this isn't just a competition where everybody gets a trophy just for showing up.
And then at the end, everyone has the trophy.
People are always saying that, but who cares about that? First of all, I heard they don't even get to keep them, which I certainly believe is true.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have to buy them if they want them.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about Valentina that I had to say? Trinity said that it still makes her the winner being fan favorite, and she's not wrong. Except this reunion undid her more, and she's not fan favorite. She has a ton of fans still.
Yeah.
But I think she has less.
Definitely.
Favorites,
She definitely does.
Less people willing to protect her. And I said that about Tatiana from All Stars. I think that she came out like the real winner of that season because
Right.
she just gained a lot of new fans. Didn't need the title or the, prestige, but she is getting bookings.
Tatiana.
Right, and that's what that show did for her.
Yeah.
And Sasha said that she called out that Valentina wasn't making an attempt to get to know them, but the judges found her charming. So that's interesting. When you said, was it you that just said that you wondered if they knew she'd be fan favorite?
Yeah.
The producers see all, so you'd think if they saw her in the workroom, maybe they were like, oh, I don't know.
I know.
How she'll be.
I wonder so much.
It's on that edit. They
But I
can
was
show
gonna
us
say they
what they
edited it,
want.
so they made her pop. So they must have wanted. Also, it makes for a much more exciting and shocking elimination.
Yeah, if nobody liked her, they're like, yeah, get her off.
Exactly.
But this one, a lot of people were like, no. Like, I mean, you watch reaction
But
videos.
I don't even understand why people were like, no. It was a lip sync for your life,
Yeah.
and you didn't know not one word. And the number one rule in drag is to know your words.
I don't care if Valentina is literally you are obsessed with her more than anyone else in your life. If you see that and you're gonna blame another queen for her elimination, there's something wrong with you, and it's called
there's
delusion.
something wrong with a lot of people.
Correct, and that's why did we all see the roses everywhere on Instagram?
I heard.
Listen, I would have
I watched her video. Yeah.
whose video?
Valentina was
said,
like,
"Give
guys,
everybody
let's
roses."
send everyone roses. She was like trying to make up for it, like to go the other queen. So there were roses everywhere, but then all the other queens started making fun and like having their fans do their own. Check it out. You'll see roses.
It just feels so produced.
Correct.
Okay.
I also, sorry, go ahead.
Yes. If I were Valentina in that situation, and for some reason the words just escaped me, I would have water gum, bubble gum, my
anything.
way through that whole thing. I mean, even if you didn't know the words, you know the melody. Bum 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 bum. I just want to.
Or do a lot of turns.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you know.
don't be putting your face,
Yeah.
like
Don't
your
be like-
hand on your mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but you kind of. But
Walk the runway.
But if you
Bring it to the runway.
if there was a moment where you're like, oh, they're gonna clock that I don't really know the words, you just give it like a.
Yeah.
Just that,
something.
and then a dip down, so
Cynthia
that people
never-
can't really follow
Cynthia
you
never knew the
out.
words to anything.
But that's
she
wh-
squeaked
yeah.
through a little bit.
That's why.
Yeah.
Wait, who'd you say?
Cynthia.
Yeah. God love her. But that's why I think it was more about she did not think she was going to be in the bottom, and it was her hubris was her downfall, as I learned in English class many years ago.
Who's she?
It's a fatal flaw.
Famous drag queen, I don't know. Hubris.
Yeah, Elsa and Alice as well. Nina.
Nina Bonina, Osama bin
Nina,
Laden, Sarah
was
Jessica
so
Parker
strong.
Brown.
Exactly. I'm sure I told every one of you at some point during this season. They're like, hello, Nina's so talented. She's the one that's going to get an edit where she finally has that breakthrough and she's going to win it all. And I heard Ross said it on the night you were there, and I was like validated because everyone was like, you're crazy. But it just never happened.
Right.
No.
And
She was too
a
in her
year
head.
later, it looks like she's still the same. I still love Nina, but
Yeah.
most people really got annoyed with that, which I totally get. And a lot of people were saying it would be Nina and Valentina on
All Stars.
All Stars, but
Stars.
we were just saying like Nina, she didn't. People come to redeem themselves and have a new story, but I don't think she's there yet. So
All Stars 4.
get that therapy, Nina. We all need it. There's no shame in it, but you need
Well, what
to
ticked me
work it out.
off is when they were voting for Miss Congeniality, and Nina made a video saying, "No, give Valentina your vote. Sarah, don't waste your votes
So
on me."
typical
I'm like,
Nina, right? And it's like annoying.
Don't you get it by now?
And it's like you actually are talented. That's why it's annoying to me. If you sucked, I'd be like, okay, you get it, so calm down.
Yeah.
But
She's just not confident in what she does, and I feel like if she were more of a confident queen, I think that it would have been different for her. But I also feel like she's very talented from here up.
yeah,
And
I
then
liked
here
her looks, but then they were the
But
same.
here down is an afterthought. If everything was just as creative and it all connected, I think she would have went
Just
further.
as creative, that's a good point. Because there
Yeah.
were times, like she gave us that good body, but then she kept doing it and kept doing it.
Well, okay, for instance, the lip sync with her and Valentina, and she had the skull face
Yeah.
and everything like that, and the rib cage and all that, and then she gave us this little tutu and thigh high boots. It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
Huh?
as a drag queen, you have to think about the overall look.
And
so
she
that
has that
everything
creative
is
talent in
effective.
her, so
yeah,
she needs to just
yeah.
do it.
I
Yeah.
have to kind of say something though. Like when you think of like a stand-up comedian, you don't go see that same stand-up comedian at the same club because you're going to hear the same jokes. So when drag queens tour, they're going to wear the same outfits because they're
Totally.
going to different cities. So on a show, that's her silhouette. So
Yeah.
I think she would do that in New York, than Massachusetts, than California and Atlanta. It's not the same audience, so they don't know that.
Totally.
And then when you're going back to those cities, that's when you need to change your silhouette a little bit.
But the silhouette can even be dressed differently, though.
Agreed.
But until she got voted off, I was like, no, Nina's who was going to win for me. So, I mean, I didn't give up on her. So you don't have to tell me about Nina Brown being good. Guys, I want to wrap up with, we've already kind of started talking about it, but who, All Stars 3 could be taping this summer, if rumors are true. Who do you think, or who do you want to see on it most?
From this season or from the entire show?
The whole shebang. Definitely Valentina and Aja.
Last.
Okay. You meditate on it. I've thought about this before. I mean, I think Kim Chi is a good one from
100%
to go. I would like Adore to come back, just because I want big star power. Like, All Stars 2 was the stars of Drag Race, and I'm sure the young crowd thinks these 8 and 9ers are like big. Obviously, they're big, but for me, there was just like, those were these stars. I think Trixie would be good to come back. I think she's ready to come. You're not meditating on your list. You're thinking dirty jokes. Dang it.
You know who I wanted to see on the second All Stars was Angina. I loved her in season 1.
Bring back an oldie but a goodie.
Does anybody remember Rebecca Glasscock from season 1?
Barely, but I remember there was like good drama with her.
The drama with her was lit.
You and I are on the same page with the drama.
Yeah. Even I went on her Instagram and I'm like, she's got 1,000 followers or something. I'm like, what is going on, girl?
Yeah. I'd be so mad if I was in season 1. At the time, you're probably like, yes, and then you're like, oh, now it's huge and no one watched
Well, now
us.
they're branding it as the lost season.
I think it's because
you couldn't get it anywhere. That's what I thought.
I watched it when it was on.
Oh, from the
I've been gay since 09.
But it only, I feel like I heard why, because I feel like when it first aired on Logo, like that was the only time that it ever aired, and anytime they ever did a marathon, they never did the first season. They always did 2 through whatever. But I think there was some contractual stuff in season 1 that they couldn't like. This is all alleged that they couldn't, and then they finally cut through that. And
who are your picks
for All Stars? Honestly, I've always had this vision of I would love for all the first people who were eliminated.
Someone said that
to be able to come back.
But I think that would be boring because
they suck. But this is what I want.
But how do we know? I mean, they were first to be eliminated. Like, and you know who I really feel like should come back to All Stars 3? Pork Chop.
Yes, I would love to see Pork Chop.
She's been a running joke for so long.
Agreed.
And she was the very first queen to ever be eliminated from.
What has she been up to lately?
She's doing the thing.
Live? Is she doing?
Yeah, she goes to things, and I think she might be a little crazy in a way that I would like to see on my TV.
I don't think she's a little crazy. I think she's just blunt. I think
no, blunt. I love blunt.
I think you reach a point just in life where you just can give two.
I say bring back Coco.
She's done had hers.
She already had hers.
When she was on the All Stars 2, people were like,
oh, God love it, but someone does have to go. I thought Coco did a good job on season 5. She was far from my favorite, but
she was good on season 5. All Stars 2, she was wickedy whack.
It didn't work out.
I also would like for them to do kind of what they do on Project Runway. They bring back our previous winner. That's
what I was going to say. As Drag Race slowly, inevitably, at some point, even if it's years, will start to decline in the ratings, they got to start doing things like that. The dream, obviously, everyone always says, is getting all the winners to come back. I doubt they could ever make that happen, but it would be amazing. Also, but if drag's less popular and they're not making that money, they'll be back.
What if it's the winners and the first runner-ups?
Yeah, like they team them up, like they
or like all runner-ups or something. Or I'd also like to definitely see by All Stars 4 bring back people who are already on All Stars, because Latrice needs another chance.
That first All Stars.
All the first All Stars people need another chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
You said Trixie, which I think is a fantastic one. I'm pretty sure that's a lock. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. The two that I could think of is Darian Lake. I liked Darian.
I did too.
And Chi Chi DeVayne. I couldn't get enough of Chi Chi in season 8.
I grew to love Chi Chi for sure, and then forgot about her after, which I. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even shady. Like, I'm sad that I did, because I did really.
Of course, you're not shady.
Someone keeps calling me out. Okay, before we go, who are your choices? Who said that? Do you have anyone?
Just Angina and who the heck did I say before?
Glasscock.
Hey,
Glasscock.
follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
He'll tell you all his season 1
Yeah.
picks for All Stars 3. Guys, thank you for watching. Tune in tomorrow night for the finale. Tune in to Jay's show on Sunday. What time do you guys do it?
6 p.m. on Pacific Standard Time.
However you want to say it, tune into it, all right? I'm Adam Salandra. You can find me online at Adam Salandra.
And I am Tony Moore, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. Oh, and today, Shea Coulee released
Yes.
her
Oh, I saw
new
it already.
song called Cocky.
And I'm into it.
So, yes, get into that. So, look it up. It's out.
I love it.
Say your name and where you're from.
Hello,
goodbye.
Hello, goodbye. My name is Michael Henry. You can find me on Instagram, Michael Henry 915, and YouTube, Michael Henry Comedy.
And you must look at those.
Please.
Bye, everyone. It's Jay Ellis. I'm on Instagram at don't_be_jealous and Twitter. Bitch, you know the rest.
Yeah, bring it to the runway,
Bring it to
babies.
the
Goodbye.
Tens across the board.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.